live. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Routledge, Time to Shine Radio. We back like we never left. Y'all see it. Y'all see what it doing. That girl here, Dr. Danielle Stewart. What's up?
How you doing?
How you doing?
You know, they call me Dr. Decatur.
Oh, Dr. Decatur. Is that where it's greater?
Supposedly.
Okay, supposedly. Okay. All right, you guys go ahead and move on to Decatur, where it's greater.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. I love it there. Well, Dr. Danielle Stewart, go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience, please.
Yes. Well, this is not my first time here.
It's not.
But this time I am showing up to talk about entrepreneurship.
Yes.
I have done community engagement and advocacy work for years. I love education. I love business. But I also love to see change.
Change.
All about change.
Like Barack Obama, he said change.
He said change.
He said change.
I'm talking about making change.
Making change.
Making change.
And making change. Okay,
That's
and
right.
making change.
And making change. By doing change. So I do that
love
in
that.
different ways.
Okay, do tell.
Currently
Okay.
I work in diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah, those are the three words that people are like going, ugh.
Why they do that though?
Well, you know what? Right now, we're in Trump country.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
So folks are hating on the DEI, right?
Right. The DEI.
They're like, let it die.
Ugh, man.
DEI.
Right. No. We're here for it. So where do we start? So I always like seeing entrepreneurs. That's why I love this show, because it's the home of the entrepreneurs. Because it could be it's another Dr. Danielle Stewart out there somewhere that's for you. So you have to tell us a little bit about what's going on here. So go ahead and do tell us. So how did everything start for you?
You know what? I started in a classroom. I started at a school. I went to a predominantly white school here in Atlanta.
Okay.
PWI. That's what that stands for.
PWI.
And when I decided to go to grad school, I said I want to do research on predominantly white schools and students of color experiences.
Stop. What made you want to do more?
Let me just say this. Back in the day, like everybody else,
Okay.
I was a fan of The Cosby Show. I watched it religiously.
Okay.
And at the end of the credits, where it says William B. Cosby, it says EDD. I said, ha! I want whatever those credentials are. I don't know what they are, but I want them. But
So
I know he's a
EDD.
change agent. He made some change,
Okay,
right?
change.
He did a different world. He did The Cosby Show.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
I said, I want that.
Wait, well, what is EDD?
EDD is Doctorate of Educational Leadership.
See, boom, didn't know that. Okay, thanks for the
now
point.
you know.
All right, yes, ma'am.
And that is where I said, okay, the more I learn about this, the more I do this, the more I understand the power of those three little letters.
Okay, and
Yes.
and so that triggered you want to do more for PWI.
Wanted to do more for PWI. The students of color who at that point are typically only 20% representing in these schools. That is the structure typically in a PWI.
Typically.
Yes.
Okay, so did you do the research?
Did the research.
Okay, and?
Yes. What I learned was we as students of color don't engage as often for different reasons. It's because of a lack of inclusion and sense of belonging in these schools.
Okay,
It's
come
not
on.
that we don't want to.
Right.
It's because we don't feel the love from the schools, from the institutions, from the powers that be, from leadership, from people who don't look like us.
Oh, okay, talk about
And
it.
at that moment, the
Okay.
research was done, but nobody really wanted to understand the research because they didn't find the significance.
Correct.
Several years later, after I graduated, one of the schools started the Black Ad movement during the midst of COVID.
Wow.
All predominantly white schools, higher ed, all these schools
Wow.
were fighting back with these schools saying, oh no, you can't mistreat us like this. You're
no.
racist, we're calling you out, we're calling you in, we're telling you treat us better.
Ooh.
So my research then became relevant and
Okay.
necessary to help other schools understand how to create cultures of belonging. That's what I do.
Okay.
I work with schools, I work with nonprofits, I work with sweet seat executives,
Okay.
law firms. They all want to create cultures of inclusion.
Okay.
That is what I get paid to do.
Cultures of inclusion.
Yes.
So what does a typical day in the life look like for that particular job? Because it sounds like a lot.
Every day is different.
Okay.
Every
And
day
I'm
is
pretty sure
exciting.
in every venue and different sector of people is different. Okay.
That's right. Well, I don't know about you, but I will tell you this. In this industry, a lot more people are open to doing DEI training virtually.
Really?
So I don't have to go in. I am coming from my living living room to help people, and I'm changing the world for my living room.
Come on, living room.
Okay, there's power in my living room. And what we do is, whether it's coaching, workshops, talking about microaggressions, helping them understand what they did is wrong and how to help them, supply them with the tools to get it right, so that they can work on their retention and retain communities or people of color in their organizations. That's what we're doing. We're helping them supply the tools. We're saying, this is what you need to do to make this a more welcoming environment for all.
For all. And so it's not just particularly black, it's like all cultures.
It's women who might be feeling marginalized.
Okay.
LGBTQ. Those from the BIPOC community. Those, yeah, so it's like,
it could be, just depends, right?
Yes, but let's be clear. It starts with one group at a time. When
Okay.
you walk around and people are saying Black Lives Matter, and then other people say all lives matter, we get that. What we're saying is, we're trying to create a community where people, all lives, understand that they matter. Okay. Starting with one group at a time.
One group at a time. So when you were coming up in the PWI, did you experience racism?
Yes. But I will say, I don't think it was just about the school. It's just the climate of the world that we live in. Right? We live in a white supremacy society and a white dominant culture. Therefore, there are things that happen, and in spaces like that, you learn to adapt. Because I was not that black kid that said, I am never going to go to a white school again. My whole life was about, I went to this K through 12 PWI. I'm going to go to a higher ed PWI. Shout out to Hofstra University, which is one of my favorite PWIs.
Come on, Hofstra, because you could have went to HBCU like FAMU.
I could have gone, and I did not.
Okay, right. Because why, though?
Because part of what I learned was I loved being at PWI.
Okay. Now that's different.
It might be crazy.
No, it is not crazy. It's just different.
However, a PWI represents what? The world that we live in too, right?
Correct. The corporate America.
World.
This is
right.
true.
That's right. So
this is true. So going to Hofstra, how did that shape Dr. Danielle Stewart?
I met your brother, first of all.
Come on, brother.
It changed my life. But the other part of it too was, it was a cultural difference, right? Hofstra, for those who don't know, is in New York City.
Right.
So
they probably never heard of it.
People say melting pot. I don't believe in melting pots. That means you blend people in together, and then people like lose their identities. I like to call it a tossed salad.
Okay, come on, toss
some
salad.
Identity, right?
Yes.
But y'all can mix together. And so in that space at Hofstra, I was able to really explore more of that, more of the cultures that really existed beyond just black and white.
Okay.
You know, it was North and South, Caribbean. Those were just different ethnicities, different religions, backgrounds. It was great.
It's great. But you couldn't get that at HBCU. No.
Well, but see, I was the light-skinned girl in Decatur, right? And I wondered, I was like, would I even fit in at a HBCU? Because I'm feeling a little awkward both. I was code switching.
Because you light-skinned?
I'm light-skinned and did it. But what I'm saying is this. When I would go to PWI, yeah, sometimes the white kids gave me a hard time, but sometimes outside of that, the black kids gave me a hard time too. So I'm somewhere in the middle.
Wow. Well, aren't you mixed?
I'm black. I am Southern and Northern. That's the most mixed I am.
Yes, Southern Northern. That's what I was saying.
I'm mixed. My mama's from the North, my dad's from the South.
Boom. There you go. Southern, North, and South. You know? So how do you facilitate conversations in the classroom for, for different diversity ethnic groups?
I love that you asked this question, because you know what? This is what happens, right? Teachers are afraid to have conversations with students. Hello, we're in 2024. Students are having conversations with you
all day long,
and they're awkward. So we figured, well, you might as well be prepared. And so we train teachers with the tools to create, we call them cultures and communities of safe and brave spaces. What does that mean? A safe space is where you feel comfortable showing up.
Correct.
A brave space is you feel comfortable showing up and having a dialogue and a difficult sometimes conversation. There might be conflict that arises, but the point is this. Conflict's going to happen sometimes because we're all different. We all have different perspectives.
This is true.
So we create spaces and tools to supply our teachers with and the students to say, this is how you appreciate somebody's perspective. There's a strategy to it. Okay? You don't have to agree, but you can appreciate what they share.
Absolutely. So is it the point like trying to get teachers to be more diverse about their conversations they have with students, or just to have them, period?
It's to have them, period.
Okay, have them, period.
And to be prepared.
Okay.
Right? And so we have a book called Facilitating Conversations About Race in the Classroom, which I wrote with two of my co-authors. And we use this as a tool everywhere we go. And we say, look, this book not only tells you how to do this, it tells you how to overcome obstacles, because there are going to be challenges that show up.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what the book shows
That
the
is
teacher.
what the book, how to, step by step.
Wow. And so the college prep and connect, what is that about?
Oh man, that was something that we started when we were trying to create conversations among students, parents, and schools in the community. There was a big division several years ago where people were feeling like, wow, my schools aren't supporting me. They're not helping me, telling me what I need to do to go to school. They're telling me we should go to school, but how do I get my child when I'm a first gen or I don't have any of that knowledge myself? Because I didn't go to college. How do I help my kid go to school? And y'all were telling me what to do, but you assume I know what to do. So we would go in the communities and create clinics where parents and students could both go in there. And they would get free training on FAFSA, SAT prep, scholarship, essay writing, you name it. And we would partner with local businesses and schools to say, hey, we're here. We stand with y'all, with the community, because your tax money supports us. And supports our schools.
Yes, it does.
So we created that synergy.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. What made you come up with that? You just saw the need and wanted to fill it? Or?
When we first talked about it, well, first of all, it was going back to my private school experience. It was some of these schools, some of these students will never get the access that I had. And I wanted to find a way to give it back, to use it. And I did it because of that, but then I really it sealed the deal. That same week that we were going to do a college prep workshop at a Pizza Hut. Remember when Pizza Hut had dining rooms?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Before COVID?
Before COVID.
Yeah.
We would do that, and my parents had their house broken into twice.
What?
By a young kid who was not going to school. And I said, you know what? This is more reason why we need to create opportunities like this for students like that.
Wow.
It was great.
It was great. So are you guys still running that?
We are still running that. We are really doing some revamping because we are 5 years in the program.
Wow.
I've been doing entrepreneurial work for 5 years.